Turn you down to 50%. Turn you down my ears. Hello, everybody. So, this is kind of an impromptu stream. I sort of woke up today contemplating, well, basically, what it is I like about various different video games. I'm gonna just be a second here while I tweet out and stuff. But, so basically, I've been pondering, sort of like trying to figure out more or less like the connecting thread between, you know, a lot of what could be very different games that I really enjoy. See if I could figure out, you know, a commonality between them. Things like Path of Exile, which is like a Diablo-like game. Thank you for the host, Antitonic. Why did that not pop up? Perhaps it's just being slow? We'll give it a minute. If it doesn't pop up, we'll try to fix that. So yeah, trying to figure out like a commonality between the different games I like Path of Exile and Tenchu, which on the face of them, this is an action stealth game. The other ones, I mean, I guess they're technically both action, but they're very different games at their core, really. But all right, I'll get to that in a second here. I just gotta. Alright. So this is probably one of the first games that I really went just crazy. Well, maybe not one of the first. I really went crazy on like Diablo 2, and I played a lot of StarCraft at its time. I don't really know how to explain StarCraft, and like Red Alert also I really liked. Those don't quite fit in my picture I'm making in my head quite yet. But this is kind of the idea, and what I'm mulling over in my head and trying to flesh out is just sort of like, why these games? What is it about these games that connects them or whatever? And my current thought process, hang on. Penny button. Sweet. How about, come on. Yeah, so I'm just sort of getting set up here. It still didn't show up. The host alert on the Twitch alerts. Let's see if we can fix that. Turn it off and back on again. Hi, Bud. Hello, Bud. I love being interrupted by kitty cats. That's what I love about video games. Plus Discord and stuff as well here as we get going. Bye bye. Yeah. You're adorable. You're adorable. You're adorable and you demand attention. I love this opening. There we go. That's what I love about video games. Problem solved. Awesome opening movie. Then you just play the rest of the game as you know. Respect to the opening movie. No, that's probably not it. But that's the idea. So, this is Tenchu Wrath of Heaven. If you've been following me for a while, you've probably seen this game. It's probably one of my favorite games, or at least certainly one of... in combination with Tenchu Fatal Shadows, which I also play currently weekly. It's probably one of my favorite games ever that I keep going back to because I can't get enough of it. And I mean, I don't feel like the story is terribly strong in this one. Fatal Shadows is a much stronger story, but this I felt was a better example of what I really want out of a Tenchu game, specifically a Tenchu game, I suppose. But hopefully a better explanation of what my current line of thought, or better example of my current line of thought about exactly what it is that I'm trying to figure out, I guess, more than explain. So it's kind of going to be ending up kind of stream of consciousness here, and probably even like contradicting myself and stuff at times, because really I am just trying to flesh this thought out in my head. Memo, thank you for the host. Memo, how's it going, man? So yeah, I think primarily what it boils down to, sort of, anyway. I feel like this is maybe a bit too simplistic, but as a starting point, I've watched a couple of extra credits videos. I really like extra credits; they're awesome. But they had a couple videos on. Hey, Gregor, how's it going? How are you doing today? So they had a couple of videos on like types of players. Let's do Ricky Maru's level first, actually. And so, essentially, the types of players, as in the broad categories at least, were achievers, people who want to, you know, display mastery over the game. Explorers, who sort of want to, well, explore the game or its mechanics, or, like, either the environment or the mechanics, or hunt for Easter eggs, or find this, you know, little thing that the developer hid over here for them to find, or maybe there isn't anything there, but they're gonna go check anyway, because nobody has, sort of thing. And socializers, which is more like they play games to hang out with people and talk to people, and sort of is just an aspect of socialization. Games like MMOs in particular and stuff would fall into that category better than... Well, obviously Tenchu isn't a very good example of a social game. Well, I'm streaming it, I guess, so anyway. The game itself, when I first got it on PS2 and loved it and played the crap out of it, would not have been a good example of social gaming. And then killers was the fourth category they gave, which is people who want to dominate other players. So a lot of your first-person shooter games, like your Call of Duties and your other shooty man games, your League of Legends and stuff like that, your MOBAs and RTS games that like StarCraft and stuff that get played competitively, a lot of those would sort of fall into that category too. Or well, maybe not the games themselves, but most of the like iconic play of StarCraft is about, you know, dominating the other guy, right?
The fruits of corruption.
It's sort of the focus.
Sweet to Goda's Nasu. When Echigoya's son Tokubei invited him to the renovated Echigoya,
as far as where I think I fall on that scale,
Tokubei planted the seeds by
again, I feel it's a bit too simplistic.
Villagers and taking their
but that's the starting point for this rant.
When payments were not met. Nasu
You'd argue that pre-internet games had a social aspect, though? Certain ones, certainly. Like, I mean, like Smash Brothers on N64, or Mario Kart on going back to SNES, or stuff like that, definitely. Any multiplayer game, really, I suppose, has a social aspect. Certainly. Like, there are social games. I don't think that this really twinges on any social anything exactly. But to me, I think that this is an important distinction, because sort of like how the magic personalities, you've got Spike, Timmy, and Johnny. It's like, okay, well, I'm primarily a Johnny, but I'm kind of a Timmy. I'm not really that spiky. As far as... So if you're not familiar with the magic personalities, I'm supposed to explain. You have Timmy Power Gamer, Spike, who I don't know if they give him a title like that. Like Timmy Power Gamer, Johnny Combo Player. I don't know that Spike ever got such a title. Nearly everyone you've talked to that's your age or older has water cooler moments where they trade strategies and secret locations and moments from the games they hadn't come. Yeah, fair point. Fair point.
Your father must have
Hi, Bud. You're a penny butt.
Well,
Hi.
Will there be enough
Hello there.
dessert
How are you?
for us tonight?
Oh yes, we have a very special
So Spike is basically, he wants to win. His primary interest in playing Magic the Gathering, basically he's a killer. As far as the other game personality version went, he's a killer. He wants to win. At all costs, he wants to play the best cards and win. Johnny wants to play interesting combinations of cards and make, them interact in different interesting ways and stuff like that. He wants to, assemble sort of like a clockwork machine out of them. And Timmy, Power Gamer, wants to play, the biggest, toughest creatures or the biggest, splashiest spells or whatever. So those are the magic, and then there's also Vorthos, which they've more recently added to their personalities. Sorry, I'm just hopping up on this roof because there's that girl there, which I was aware of, but sort of goes back to, I don't think she actually sees us here. So this is the first level you're likely to play in Tenchu Wrath of Heaven. And it's it's an easy example of what I was going to try to explain, but, so they've also added Vorthos, which is like someone who really wants to dig into, like, the lore of Magic. They're not really... Yeah, Vorthos is the lore-hungry one. He's interested in the story or that the Magic cards tell, or like the lore behind them, like the art and stuff like that is what Vorthos likes. Which doesn't really fit into this other categorization system either, although maybe that's kind of explorers, people who want to explore the lore as opposed to explore game mechanics and stuff. You remember Lur explaining this? You were into Magic around a decade ago recently and cannot get back into it. Fair enough. Mainly because the scene is as good as dead there. Yeah, that always makes it very difficult. And then there's Magic Online, which is good, but Magic Online has its own problems. Basically, my problem with Magic Online is that it's flooded with 50% or better of the people on Magic Online. And you can't get invested in that digital analog. Yeah, fair enough. They're mostly full of spikes. Okay, so this game, so I find myself mostly being like an explorer, or in Magic personalities, I would primarily identify myself as being Johnny Combo Player. I want to find, neat ways for the game mechanics cards to interact with each other and do, cool things that eventually, they probably win the game if I manage to do them, but frequently the ones I play as often don't work as they do work. But in other games as well, I primarily feel like I'm an explorer. In Path of Exile, I like to try and develop different ways to use abilities and different character builds and stuff like that. Like games where you get to build characters and choose from like a wide array of skills and builds and stuff have always been very much my jam. Basically, like they've always been, oh, but what if I go back and do this? And, I restart the game 20 times to go make a different character. The Elder Scrolls games are particularly guilty of that. Maybe less so Skyrim, perhaps, but, like, the older ones the older ones with like Oblivion and Daggerfall. I only really played the demo of Daggerfall, but when I got that on a PC Gamer CD, I'd never seen the Elder Scrolls series before Daggerfall, and oh my god, was that like the perfect game for me. I really regret never having gone back and like played it. So this game, as far as exploration goes, it gives you huge degree of like freedom of movement, which is one of the problems I have with like the Wii game actually, is like they have a very prescribed way you're supposed to go through the level in the Wii game. Like there be like a couple slightly different paths or whatever, but here you can like, you know, you can run across all the rows. You basically, if you can see it, you can get to it sort of thing. Like, I mean, you can't get to that outside wall here and stuff, but up top over there you can, if you really wanted to, and different layouts of enemies they're in different places and basically require you to. This lady here, I didn't mean to drop down. Hi, lady. Excuse me. This lady here is an innocent, by the way, so we're not going to kill her. But, like, they've got different ways for you to... so many different ways for you to go about running around the level because they give you such a huge degree of freedom of movement, and on top of that, they also give you, like, most levels have various splitting paths. So here, we've got two different ways we can go from this part here. We've got a door here. I should try Deus Ex and various other hybrid games. Yeah, Deus Ex Human Revolution was really good. But anyway, we can go in these doors, and there's a crawl space in there. I'll go to that in a second here. Because if I go that way, the same cutscene will play if I go this way, and it's more relevant to this direction. But that's one of the ways we can go, is in this house, and there's a little crawl space. And we will go to explore that. But there's also over here, where we've got these partying dudes. And what's that right next to them? It's a key! And oh, look, there's a lock. Okay, so the first time I played this level, I didn't know about that crawl space in the house. I don't know if we can actually just sneak in there or not. I don't think we can. Let's try. Nope. What? So normally what I do when I first started, I would go this way and get that key. But what I would do is, there's water on the other side of this wall. There's like a little moat thing. And if you splash around in there, you make noise and everyone gets alerted. So what I would do is like go jump down in the water over here, splash around. It would alert the guys in the house. It would alert these guys in the house. Where are they? Hang on. What? Where are they? Oh, they all went over that way. There they are. And they're discovering the bodies now. Okay. That's fine. Alright. Wait, you each have to discover the body? We have to do this 3 times? Anyway, I wouldn't normally have baited them all the way over here, although this is going to work in our favor, probably. But yeah, like, Deus Ex Human Revolution was really cool. I haven't played any of the other ones, but I really liked that one. So these guys don't have a prescribed patrol path like a lot of the guards in the game do. So they're just gonna kind of meander around, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna try to look for opportunities where they're not watching each other. Like right now. Oh. Or we could miss. So it does have, like... Yeah, so the Wii one was more like a puzzle that you're supposed to figure out. Where this one is more like, I mean, kind of puzzly, but more, the puzzle sort of forms itself. It's not like they've got so much, like they do have sort of paths that are intended and perhaps other ones that are less intended, but...
I see it passing by.
Right. Okay.
Passing by.
Penny, what are you doing? Penny's being a butt. She's like, you're doing things. I'm gonna go explore the room. Did they pick up the key? They did not. So yeah, there's a few different ways, a few different points in this level to go. And so we can either get the key from these partying dudes, which now they're all dead. We didn't do that terribly well, but that's fine. It doesn't matter for my purposes here. And then we can go over here where we saw the... I don't know if hiding in the bush works as Rikimaru. It definitely works as Ayame. Oh. So, also similar to, say, I don't know, Dark Souls or something, this game definitely rewards exploring around and, like, trying to keep an eye out, because I knew there was this archer up here, but I thought I might be able to, like, sneak up through the bushes. I failed at that, at least. Maybe I still could have, but I just failed at it. Sorry, Human Revolution had to sacrifice some of that interplay you mentioned. You guess because more graphic fidelity you get, the less resources and or time you have to branch out. I don't know if that's true. Like, it certainly seems to be where things go. As they get prettier graphics, they get less depth of game, for whatever reason. And I mean, I guess that's kind of true, but I don't feel like that's a terribly... Part of this ended up me trying to think about what I like about, or what I dislike currently about Dark Souls 3. And I feel like... Okay, so Dark Souls 3 kind of mostly... probably, again, not very social. There's not really any social systems in the game, per se.
What?
Damn it.
Where'd you go?
I don't know, where'd I go?
What?
Damn it. Anyway. You like how the Souls games, Tenchu, Deus Ex, etc., reward the player for being prepared. Yeah, and so that's one of the other things I like about, I want to talk about as far as exploring games and stuff. One of the things I really, the biggest thing I like, I think, about exploration is just like more information. More information and acting on that information. So, like, knowing where the enemies are going to be, in the case of Tenchu, or Dark Souls as well, and stuff like that, and being able to, you know, act upon that information to play the game better. And that sort of goes back to, I think that those terms are a bit too simplistic, that at some point my exploration turns into being, or my exploration aspects, or liking exploration in games, kind of turns into being an achiever suddenly, because it's like, oh, I now have, you know, all this information to operate on, and I can play the game better. And I'm not trying to play it perfectly, but I like those systems that you have. You can gather information and execute better, basically, based on all this information you have. And so, that's kind of why I was trying to say that I feel like those categories are a bit too simplistic. That, I mean, I don't think they were trying to suggest that everyone falls into one and only one of these categories. But, like, same with, like, EVE and stuff. EVE Online, I spend a lot of my time doing the exploration side of things, which, I mean, name is right there, but also it's just, like, the way that system works and the way it rewards you and stuff is all about, like, knowing what's coming, knowing what to be prepared for. Okay, so this was one path to get to this area of the game. This is sort of the first half-ish of the level that we've now completed by going through that tunnel here. But, so we're in this area with, like, all these houses and stuff. Our ultimate goal here is to go into this house. Again, there's a couple ways into the house. Let's go get rid of some of these guys as well, so we can, like, look at how to get into the house. But then I'm gonna, like, kind of rewind, I guess. I didn't crouch as I landed, therefore I fell down. But yeah, so I'm gonna go back to, like, basically the beginning of the level again. After we kill this guy, probably. This should be the last guy. And my cat is being a pain in the butt. Penny, stop being a pain in the butt. Right. So there's a few different ways into this house. Like, there's a little crawl space here, I think. Yeah. There's a little crawl space here to take us to one part of the house. Or there's a door back here. I'm not sure if Ricky Maru is allowed to go in this door, but he probably is. Yeah, he's allowed to go in that door. Okay, so there's this door back here. Or there's the front door. Or there's a crawl space into the top of the house. Like, there's 4 different paths to go to the next part of the level from what we've already done. And they all have, you know, different reasons you might go that way. They're all valid ways to go about it. And they just sort of result in a different experience or different challenges or let you approach an area from a different direction that might be easier or harder or whatever. Like, if you walk in the front door, you're gonna, you know, more immediately face guards and stuff. So it really rewards you looking around and trying to find, you know, the sneakiest way into the house and stuff like that. Normally when I play through this game, I feel like I show absolutely none of this because I'm already like, I have a path, I know where I'm going, I'm gonna do the thing the way I go about it. And so it's kind of why I wanted to stop and use this game in particular for, because it's a very good example of me loving to explore games and why I love Tenchu and say things about how Dark Souls levels, or like Dark Souls 1 style levels, would be so good to play in Tenchu, is because that's how Tenchu Wrath of Heaven is, right? Like, in Dark Souls 1, you could, there's shortcuts that point you back to different parts of the level, there's skips that jump you down, so instead of doing all of that, what I do now, oh, and there's like a crawl space from the other side of the wall to go up here, from the water. And again, knowing the systems of the game is fairly important, knowing that if I sneak through the water and roll through the water and stuff, I make no noise and don't alert anyone. Or if I stand up, we start splashing around, and that would alert the guys on the other side of the wall, and they'd be like, oh, what's that noise? Nah. Right? So again, exploring systems of the game and stuff is very important to playing Tenchu effectively. And so, if I had now the way I go is come in here is basically, okay, so this is where we started. I came over this wall, there was one guard in front of this house patrolling back and forth. I'd basically go up on this roof, and either kill this guard or not, and come in this door, and this will be the fastest way through the level, because we don't have to worry about those 3 guards. We just come in here. Hey, look, a health potion. We've got too many items. And there's this little crawl space back here. And we go through here, and we get a loading screen. So, like, this will take us back to where we just were. So instead of getting the key, going through the tunnel, if you'd explored the level and found this, suddenly, okay, where are we? Oh, we were just here. This is where we just were. This is the end of the tunnel. Instead of having to go through that tunnel and fight all those enemies, we could have just crawled through a crawl space. Here's the hole that we came out of after going through that tunnel that we needed the key to get into. We could have just gone through there, and then we can come out here in the middle where none of them see us. Like, I think the guards patrol to a point where they can see us, but we've got some time as we come out here to, like, grapple up to the roof. And again, this sort of comes down to, I really like the freedom of motion as far as exploration goes in these Tenchu games. Fatal Shadows doesn't do this part as well as Wrath of Heaven does, but yeah, so the normal way I'd come in here is through this crawl space in the roof. So we've got this is right above the front door of the house. And so we come in here, and this allows us to approach from one direction. We went in that back door the last time. That allows us to approach from a different direction. Like, they all sort of let us approach the same problem from 4 different angles. And it's like, well, which one do you like better? Which one's easier? Which one's faster? Which, you know. We come in through some banisters there. I think there's a guard directly below us there. Or we can just... Let's go walk in the front door. Or actually, let's go start with where that crawl space leads on the outside. I think I know where it leads, and that probably actually makes it the fastest, if it leads where I think it does. But, yeah, there's this crawl space right here. 4 different ways to attack the next part of the level, right? And that's great. And the first level for Ayame, I'll go do that one next. Also fairly similar in that. Like, some of the levels are less like this. But, yeah, this comes out exactly where I thought it did. So this is sort of halfway through the house now, by going through that crawl space. If we had come in... Hang on. Like a dude out here. Where are you, dude, out here? Oh, you're... Okay.
Ninja!
Go! Come here. Alright, so if we... So where we just came in previously... Like, okay, so we'd have to come here anyway, basically. So the back door is over this way. Right there, basically. We'd have to get past that over... I think it's right there? It's this way, anyway, and we'd have to get past... Alright. Have fun, Gregor. Enjoy your Dark Souls. But yeah, so we'd have to get past that girl there if we came from that route. Or we'd have to get past the guards over here, which is the way I probably normally come. Well, not probably, is the way I normally come.
Forget it.
And so if we came in the front door, we'd end up right here. And... there's this guy right around the corner here, which he isn't really a problem for if we come in the front door, because we don't have to go this way. But he's sort of an extra dude that can aggro on us if we piss off somebody else in the area. And in here... Okay, yeah, so there's no guard in here. But in here, this is where we came in through the crawl space up above. Up there is the crawl space above the front door. And so we sort of come from 4 different, slightly different angles, but approaching the same situation. And they all sort of provide for a slightly different or faster or you know, whatever experience as far as playing Tenchu Wrath of Heaven goes. And like I said, we basically had to come here anyway, where that crawl space led. And different characters, different parts of these, like different ones of these entrances are blocked off depending on who you are. So like Tenchu, for example, can't necessarily, when he comes to the same level, can't necessarily go through that crawl space we just went through. I don't think he can go, for example, through the crawl space above the door. I don't think he can go through the one to the basement either. But he can go through the front or back door. And the guards will be in different places and stuff for each of them as well. Nope. Like, even the same, basically the same level. Like, it's not quite the same level because, like I said, they do change which paths are open to different characters at times. But, hi! Similarly, knowing that enemy was coming, like I probably, the first time I got here, I probably would have, you know, stood here, went, somebody's close to me. Is he there? Oh, okay, let's wait for him. Okay, he didn't come. Let's go. And then he'd walk around the corner and spot me, you know? Where, knowing he's there now and knowing that I'll have some time, I can know to just run in and get him before, that I have a chance to run in and get him before he's gonna see me. There and stuff, so we can act on that information. That's really some of the stuff I like most, and sort of, I feel like that's a common thread between, and again here we've got 2 different paths. So, we've now got, if you looked around, you would be able to find, oh, there's a little crawl space up here. Okay, where's this go? And this heads through. Or I probably wouldn't have, again, I probably wouldn't have found this the first time through the level. Is it up more? Yeah, it's up more. This goes to here. Where, okay, cool. We're here now. There's a guy nice and close. Where are you? Where are you, guy? Okay, I know where you are. You're through here. So, you see that cat lying on the ground on the other side? That was where we just were. That cat was the same cat I just saw around the, or like around the other corner or through the other door or whatever it was. So we got the sensor to see how close they are, so now I can see he's walking away. To go in and get him. And so if we had come through the hallway, there's the cat, which if you wake up the cat, it howls. If you run too quickly by the cat or whatever, it'll howl and alert the guards nearby. I think there's a dude over here. Or if you like walk too close to it, even crouching and stuff. So yeah, we were over here previously, and so we had to like, we could have like had to, we were here, and we went up through the closet here instead of this way, where we could have hit the cat and alerted that guard, and possibly had a problem. I mean, we can just crawl under here too, but there's sometimes different layouts of this level. The cat is always there, but some layouts of the level have a guard over here. So if we alert that cat, that guard will come get us, basically. Where instead we can go up through the closet and end up in the same place through a slightly different and sneakier way. But yeah, so I feel like I'm probably like an explorer as far as those player types go. I'm probably an explorer first. Like, I really love to discover these things for myself, more or less. Which is kind of why I feel like the specific spoilers that people give me that do annoy me are the ones that annoy me. Is like things that are like, oh, you do this way. Well, I mean, I'd like to figure that out and stuff. Right. So that any of those paths, like any of those branching paths, eventually just converge here at the final boss.
There you are.
So there's, a variety of ways depending on what you find and how much you look around and what you want to try to do that lead all to here.
Relax. Don't be so tense. Your clothing is a little different.
And then, yeah, it's just a matter of looking around and exploring and figuring out what's the best way.
And meet your outrageous loan payments. Then you sell the.
So when I normally play through this game and I just rush through, is basically I've already found all these things out, and so I feel like I'm not explaining why I like this game as well. Like it probably just looks like a pretty typical ninja action game, like just a stealth sort of and then beat 'em up sort of game, where I feel like there's a lot more to, especially like the level design, that makes it not just like, damn it, not just as simplistic as I make it perhaps look sometimes, because I'm like not spending my time showing you guys all the different ways we could approach the same situation. We got rid of one. Because I'm just like, no, I've already done all that. We're just gonna do it, the best way, which I more or less know now, right? But, I wanted to show, like, what I talk about when I talk about, like, I really think Dark Souls games, their maps, or Dark Souls 1 map, anyway. No, bad jerk. In particular, why I feel it suits this game is because, I mean, you give a large degree of freedom of movement and, like, so many branching
Who else
paths
is in on
to
your
accomplish
scam?
the same thing. And that's what I love about Tenchu. I just only do the one path, because it's like, oh, this is the best path.
He wears glasses. Name's
To me, anyway. Or the best path I know, at least.
I'll tell you everything.
Or the one I know the best, even. That's probably the real answer there. Is the one I know the best. Not that it is the best, like, objectively the best, or the fastest, but the one I know the best.
No, it can't be.
Or know to be,
But he should be dead.
easier than, for example, getting the key versus crawling through the crawl space. It's a lot faster and easier to crawl through the crawl space.
Mickey Mouse. The one who
We'll go look at Ayame's first level at least as well. I might choose some different games here to look at. Because I'm just trying to flesh this out, mostly in my own head. Of just like,
interesting.
what it is
to play with. The more
I'm looking for in games. And I'm trying to sort of use this to also kind of explore the what it is I feel is missing from, say, Dark Souls 3 or something. That, like, I really liked the exploration aspects of Dark Souls 1, and Dark Souls 2 had so many different ways that felt meaningfully different to play the game. Where Dark Souls 3, I feel like, kind of doesn't. And that it mostly, more than, like, looking around and figuring things out, it almost rewards run in and mash R1 more than it rewards, okay, but think about this, and you know, approach the situation carefully, and the bosses also sort of just like, okay, and now we're going to change completely so that all your information is irrelevant now. Well, not all the bosses, but some of the bosses. Vort, most notably, and the first guy, Udek's Gundyr. Alright, let's quit. And we'll go do Ayame's level. Most of the levels are pretty good examples of this. There's a couple that aren't, but most of the levels are pretty good examples. Ayame's first level is another one that I know really well, and has two very, very different paths available to you. That I wanted to go do that. Do we not have Tenchu unlocked? Why do I not have Tenchu unlocked? That's weird. I don't know why I don't have Tenchu unlocked currently. That's fine. I mean, I don't know that I really have too much I want to show about Tenchu, but... Alright, so Ayame's first level. Let's just skip the dialogue here. We're not going to bring any items with us. There are also, like, hidden special weapons and stuff, like Ayame has some poison blades, Rikimaru has a stronger but slower sword available to him that you have to find as items lying throughout different levels. And so, that's also a reward that they give you in this game for exploring and stuff, and really trying to get, you know, the most out of the game as far as that's concerned. They really try to reward you for looking around and exploring and figuring out different ways to approach different situations and stuff. Like here they start you pointing down there, which, fair enough. Down there, there's actually 3 different paths to go to from here, where we are right now. One of which is down there. We'll go kill that guy at least. Just because we want him out of the way. Huh. So the way I normally go through this level, I'm going to start with the way I don't normally go. The way I normally go through this level, though, is through over here. There's a cave under the bridge thing that we started on. There's this little cave over here, and we go through there and up some stairs, and that's the way I normally go. But there's an alternate path. That's probably, to me, the easiest path, and probably the fastest. There's 2 actually alternate paths. There's a crawl space down here. You can see the light in it there. There's 2 crawl spaces. Alright, what's in this one? Where does this go? See, we're finding things I didn't know about already. I don't know where this goes. Does it just go the same place? And if this goes where I think it goes, then does the other tunnel not go where I think it goes? Well, so far it hasn't, like, met up with the other tunnel. No, it goes to the same place. So, okay. One tunnel lets out here, one lets out in there, basically, then. See, we're already discovering things that I'm like, wait, what? Either I didn't know about this, or I don't remember it, or something. Sorry, I don't know where enemies are here and stuff. Where did this go? Okay. That ended up there. So where did the other crawl space go? Okay, so that crawl space led where I thought it went, which is kind of cool, and we'll go back and see what that is, because... So what this is here, there's a little hot spring. And, actually if we were hurt, and we go into the hot spring here, it actually heals us. So we can, like, stand around here and regain our health, which is kind of a neat little hidden thing in Ayame's first level. And I mean, Rikimaru comes here, and I think Tenchu comes here as well. So I mean, they have access to that as well later in different levels, but it's her first level. Let's go see where that other crawl space led. I don't remember. So that's where I thought the other crawl space led, the one that was in the water. It was to that hot spring. And then there's a couple different ways out of that hot spring, actually. I think. So we'll fully explore this direction, I guess, in our exploration of this level. Yeah, like there's this too. Which is where I thought this was going to come out to the hot spring. But it does not. Where is this? Oh, this is that area. Okay, this is the huge gap. Okay. This I also thought was headed past the hot spring. In fact, it might very well still be. Just well, I guess no time like the present. Nope. How was I supposed to get across here? Hey, Nina! I say healing her. Well, we're dead. I say healing her when I have her head underwater crouching in it. That usually hurts someone more than heal them. Maybe she is a fish person. Had you ever thought of that, Nina? Maybe Ayame is a fish person. But no, it would heal her. Alright, let's try that again. I don't know how I was supposed to make it across that pit. I know from the other direction I've definitely made it across the pit. Well, here we go. We get to explore a part of a level that I don't really spend much time on because I already know it's kind of a pain in the ass. And so I go the other direction. Hello, Nina. How are you doing today? Alright.
It's gonna be a long night.
So. Let's go get him. Alright. He's dead. We've gotten him. Alright. I want to check. I think that we'll get to the other side of the pit by going past the hot spring. Past the hot spring, I think. It's been a while, because I don't... Like I said, I almost never go this way. I sometimes go to the hot spring just as a mindlessly playing and running around. But I don't normally go anywhere near that pit, because the moment I see the pit, I'm like, nope, wrong way. go a different way. We don't need to deal with the pit. So I think that we can also get there... No, there's no exit over this way? I thought there was. Right then. Healing hot spring. We've alerted somebody by splashing around in the water, just like I mentioned in the last level. But yeah, so I think that, like, Tenchu Wrath of Heaven is just a great lesson in, like, at least level design as far as exploration is concerned. Like... So this should be a different path to the other side of that pit. You're there, and there should be another dude over there somewhere. And I think... Hello! Surprise hugs! Alright. Where are you going? And are you going to see me? Hi! Alright. That would be a no. So. Where's the pit let out? Am I saying that FromSoft should take advice from Tenchu level design? Yes. I am, actually. Largely because they didn't actually develop Tenchu. They published it, they didn't develop it. Alright, so this is one path to get to here. Also, to change these levels up, they reuse these levels for each character, basically. But, Rikimaru starts over here in this level. Like, he starts at the end of this, like, dead end here. But yeah, they didn't actually develop Tenchu. They published it. They bought it. This one is the last one that was developed outside of FromSoft publishing it. It was developed by K2, a company called K2. And that same company is also the one that developed Fatal Shadows, which I overall hold as the better game, but is a worse example of level design. Which is, you know, a worse example of the level design I like about Tenchu, anyway. I mean, it still lets you have the freedom of movement and stuff. There, this should be the other way. That crawl space there should be the other side of that pit we were just on. Alright. Hello, Niamiria! One of the best Tenchu games. Absolutely one of the best Tenchu games. This is Tenchu Wrath of Heaven. And I'm trying to use it as an example and as a way to try to flesh out my... I just sort of started thinking this as I was waking up today. About sort of why I like the games I like. Because I like what seemingly to me feels like a very wide assortment of games. Okay, so if we go through this crawl space, it'll find us on the other side of that pit we just found ourselves on before. Yeah. So here's that pit again, that exact same pit that we didn't manage to get across. I think it's actually possible to get across it, but I just failed to. So the other thing is, besides that, so that's one way to go to get here. But if we continue this way, which is away from where we came in, we will find ourselves back at the beginning of the level again. So this is the third path that we just sort of went a different way to skip a part of it, more or less. Like, this is the same third path we could have taken from the beginning of the level to get, except we went through a crawl space to a healing shrine, or healing fountain, or whatever. A hot spring, I guess. A hot spring. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, here is the bridge that we started on. Down there is that first guy we killed, and the ramp down to get him. And so we could have also gone across this bridge in here and over this way to get to the same place we just got to. And then, beyond just that, this will take a lot longer. From here on, it'll take a lot longer to get to more or less the point the two paths join. But so this is one path that there were two ways to get into this path. I'm kind of lost at the moment, I'll have to admit. I don't normally go this way. I normally end up wrapped around all the way back to the beginning when I go this way. I know there is another way, though. So this might take some time for me to either remember or figure out. Probably some combination of remember and figure out. Because I don't think this whole part of the level is just pointless with Ayame. But I could be wrong. There should be a way. I'm trying to remember now. Just trying to think, like, okay, where have we not gone? Because we came in. Normally what I'd end up doing, because if I came this way, would be go through here again. But that's where we came in through this part of the level. I'm fairly certain there should be a way that's actually forward. I might have to go forward the way I do know, and then backtrack to figure out exactly what it is, though. Is it back here? Is there anything back here? Or is this just a place to hide? I think this is just a place to hide, yeah. Nope. Alright. But yeah, so this is the first Tenchu game I ever played in Niamiria, was this one. And it's the one that made me absolutely fucking love the franchise, because, like, the level design, the freedom of movement, the stealth gameplay, I fucking love it. I'm trying to sort of flesh out in my head an idea of how or why that is. Why I like the games that I do that seem to span a wide variety, like tactical RPGs, action RPGs like Diablo, or action RPGs like Dark Souls, which are two very different things. Like, I love all of those games, and Tenchu here, and stealth games, and Metal Gear Solid, and like, I feel like exploration, as I've said it. I said it at the beginning, but you guys weren't here. I think I'm going to upload this to YouTube as sort of just a meandering thought process on me figuring this out. I kind of think I want to do a YouTube video about this in general, but I need to try to flesh out my thoughts. So this is the way I'd normally go. This is down the ramp, but that the guy with that we killed by the campfire, and then we come in here and we got these two guys. We got to trigger the conversation.
Hey, didn't you say you were...
Diablo and Dark Souls are the same thing. Yeah, that's kind of the problem with the term action RPG, is it's just like, that could be pretty much any game. Any game you could probably probably call an action RPG, right? Like, literally any game. You're playing a role, there's action, it's an action RPG. So it's a very vague title to try to apply to as a game category. But so we're just waiting for this guy to come around the pillar. We're gonna try to hide here. Right. Take him down. So yeah, I'm gonna have to backtrack to figure out where the other... Oh, I didn't get the ability the last time I did this level? That's weird. Oh well. Got it now. Like, action RPG is not a very helpful game category, but one that gets used a lot, because, like, how else do you describe Dark Souls other than an action RPG? It is an action gameplay focused role-playing game. That is what it is. Right. So this is the way I normally go when I do this level. There's up these stairs, up here. Over here there's a doggy. I'm just trying to figure out where the other path loops into. If it's still this way and that other area was pointless for Ayame, or so doggy. How you describe Diablo, loot the RPG? I mean, that's pretty fair. That's probably pretty fair. Right. Doggy. Okay, so this way. So we still haven't found out where it loops in, so we'll backtrack from here. Once we get in here. We got the archer. He's gonna go up the hill. Damn it. A bit slow. Right. Archer's down. So, next to Mr. Samurai Snowman, which is all in his own right adorable, there is this path. And I couldn't figure out how to get to it from the other direction, so we're going to go back through it and figure out how we were supposed to get to it this way. Because I know it exists, I never use it. I know there's a pit here. And apparently a dude? Where's the dude? Dude, where are you? Are you on the other side of the pit? No, we're moving away from dude. Okay. Oh no, you know what? No, I'm thinking of it wrong. This doesn't lead back to earlier in the level. This is an alternate way. The nice part of Tenchu was the many different stealth animations depending on the position of the enemy, not just the backstab. Yeah, that's true. Like, all the stealth kills are pretty cool too. Like the different... This leads to this is a different way to later in the level, not earlier in the level. Now I remember correctly. So, doggy. Hey, doggy. Wherever you are. You're walking away. I remember now. This is an alternate way to the second half of the level. So that other area was just pointless for Ayame to go through. It was. Right. So this is where the end of the level is. But give me a second here. And we'll go back and go through the other way too. Someone call PETA. Aw, the poor dogs. I know. But they're evil dogs. They're evil ninja dogs. Not good ninja dogs like Sesshomaru. I know you're here. I know you're here. There you are. So, from that's what it was. Okay, so I was remembering it slightly wrong. There's two alternate paths after we go that way. Hi! There you go, there's the jumping stealth kill. Since you mentioned, there's the jumping stealth kill. Where are you? Over here? There you are. Come on. Nobody here. Why are you stopping there? Just continue on your merry little way. I mean, I guess I could have jumped up and got you, but... Alright. Oops, I bumped into him. I was trying to get the side stealth kill just for variety's sake to show the different stealth kills off, because they are cool too. I definitely agree. The different stealth kills are definitely a big part of Tenchu being a cool series. That the attention to detail of like, oh, you killed him from, you know, the left side or the right side or above or on uneven footing or whatever. Alright. Okay, we'll get him from this side. Nope. That was uneven footing. So like a slope or something. I guess we were above him in that case. So this is the same place where the Samurai Snowman was, that we approached the archer from this way, and then we hung a right here the first time. But if we'd hung a left, which is what I normally would do, we'd come up here, we'd get this guy, And what I'd normally do is, like, sneak my way over here and go jump up on this fence, kill that guy from the air. This is, again, sort of why I really like the freedom of movement. Like, this is more or less probably not an intended place to stand, but, you can get here. You can stand here. Excuse me. Although I do sometimes hate the finickiness. Sorry, excuse me again. I do sometimes hate the finickiness of what fences you can... I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I don't mean to keep sneezing at you. Oh, 1 second. Alright, 1 second. Alright, sorry about that. Whew. Alright, so, the boss of this level. I do think I should change games, but I'm not sure what I want to change to, like, as another example of, like, a different aspect of exploration and stuff that I've been thinking about. Otherwise, I might call it here, because, I mean, we could play through all of Tenchu Wrath of Heaven, but it would sort of be... Look, more of the same!
Wait! No! I'm not ready!
I'm ready. Why don't I show you?
Let the girl...
Like, Path of Exile would be a good example.
What?
I kind of want to go play some of the older games that I really got into that I don't think fit the mold that I'm making in my head. Like StarCraft and Command and Conquer Red Alert and stuff, which I don't really think fit the exploration sort of... Like, again, I feel like I'm not solely interested in exploration. I like social gameplay. I like doing things well, usually as an extension of the information I've gathered. I think. Like, I like, as far as gameplay goes, I like information, like, gathering and then, like, exploiting that information to do better at the game, sort of thing, right? Like, not about play the game better, but play the game smarter, perhaps? 800 points from not being spotted and stealth killing basically everybody. Wait, normal kills too? Who was the second one? We weren't spotted, so who was the second normal kill? Also, that sort of explains the, I feel like this game is too easy part of this. That 450 points for not being spotted is enough to not, or to get Grand Master. And I just got 800 points, almost double. by just wandering around the level meanderingly. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers why what I felt Tenchu, Wrath of Heaven at least, exemplified about things I like in video games. I mean, we could play through some more levels if you guys want, but yeah. I'm going to stop local recording at least.